Hey guys, having issues with my freaking camera. Keeps trying to die on me. Just went charged it up for a while, so hopefully I can make it through this stinking video without it dying. Anyways, I've got an amazing gun, a great gun that I want to talk about. It's the CZ-75 SP-01 Shadow Custom. It's kind of important for me to say that it's custom, because if you just go into any gun store and get an SP-01 Shadow, it's not going to be this gun. As you can see, we're loaded. We're in a safe area. Nothing's gonna go wrong. We're fine. I don't like it when YouTube people get all weird about making it safe, blah blah blah. Have good gun handling skills. Quit farting around, and if you know it's loaded, you know it's loaded. Anyways, it's safe now for me to sit and handle it and dry fire it and everything. Anyways, back to my original subject. This is a 9mm SP-01 Shadow. I'm not sure if they make them in 40, actually. I'm sure they do. But I've got some notes here to try and speed along my review. And I really was excited to do this review because I have been blown away by this gun. Honestly, blown away by it. First thing is what the gun is made for. First and foremost, it was designed to be a duty pistol in Europe, in military and police forces. There's actually more CZ-75s out there than any other gun in service, and it's just in Europe, and so not a lot of Americans know about them, use them, whatever. One thing I'll say about it being a duty pistol is it's quite heavy, at least the SP-01 version. Now what that designates is that it has full-length dust cover, whether it's a polymer frame or the steel frame. It has full-length dust cover with the 1913 Picatinny rail. And it might have some other things to do with it. It has ambi safeties and stuff like that. I'm not positive, but the design of this gun is made for competition, primarily USPSA production division. It is perfectly suited for production. 9mm, which in USPSA in production you don't get docked points for shooting 9. In other divisions you can. It is also possible to shoot one of these in IDPA. The problem with shooting it in IDPA is it's at like 42.5 ounces, something like that, 41.5, maybe right at 42. I'm not sure. The manual has it, but it's all in grams. But I'm quite positive it's right around there. Now you can, to get it into IDPA, you have to make weight for stock service pistol because you have a full-length steel dust cover. The only way to get into IDPA with a full-length steel dust cover is in stock service pistol. Stock service pistol, you have to have double action, single action trigger, and you also have to make 39 ounces or less. That is possible with this gun, but you have to take off your ambi safety, put some thin aluminum grips, which this already came with, take out your full-length steel dust cover, if you can see that at all, and do some other modifications to make it make that weight. I kind of hope that the rules addendum of IDPA changes that and allows this pistol in, because I think it's a stock service pistol. I mean, it's no different than a lot of other guns that are allowed into stock service pistol. And what's strange is if you can make stock service pistol which is the loophole to get into the game, you can then still shoot this gun in ESP, but you still have to be under 39 ounces. And it's just really dumb because this gun, if allowed directly into ESP, makes weight as it is, and you wouldn't have to change it. So I think it's kind of a little bit of a problem that IDPA needs to work out. Anyways, the firepower, aka magazine capacity and magazines, you get 3 very high quality magazines. They seem a lot like a Metgar produced mag. They've got kind of that blued finish, polished look, which a lot of Metgar magazines have. You get 3 of them, and they're 18 round magazines. They do protrude down out of the gun, which I believe if you get a magwell, you can still use these magazines and you don't have to get an extension so that you can get it into the magwell. But I believe you might still have to change this plastic base pad, but the magazines are long enough. You can buy original CZ-75 mags that are 15 round mags that will fit flush at the bottom. I don't know why you would. I mean, if you can have these. But you get 3 of them. They're labeled as 18 round mags. I don't know if you can see that, probably not. Labeled as 18 rounds, you can definitely get 19 rounds in them. I've done it before, and I use an Uplula, and that does help. Doing it with just your fingers might be kind of hard. But you can get 19 rounds, plus 1 in the chamber, which means 20 rounds packed into this gun. Now, in my mind, that's awesome for USPSA and for any other handgun matches you're doing. Plus, they give you 3. I hate it when, like, you go to get a concealed carry gun and they give you 1 magazine and then charge you $40 to get another one. These are $50 magazines. Now, you get 3, so you only have to buy 1 more, and you'd have 4, and that's as much as I've ever used in any competition. And I can make it with 3. So, as it comes, you're ready to go shoot in competition, in my mind. But it would be good to have a 4th mag. The ergonomics of this gun are simply amazing. They seriously are great. This high swept beaver tail is just a dream. It honestly is perfect. It protects your hand from any hammer bite. I don't think with the competition hammer, which comes on this gun, that you would get hammer bite. But it also helps with on the draw, driving your hand right in. And the way this is cut here and the beaver tail's there, even if you come here, your hand will slide right in. You'll get a good firing grip and you can fire. And what also helps that is this deep cut that I just kind of mentioned, and it just completely helps the ergonomics of the gun. It allows you, that deep cut allows you, left-handed, I'll show you, allows you to get your thumb right up on the safety. You can manipulate the safety easily. Another awesome thing is to use the safety, I hope you can see this. To use the safety, you don't have to put your thumb underneath it. You can have your thumb on the top of it the whole time and just rock your thumb back and forth. That's really nice because then you don't have to move your grip as much to manipulate the safety. You can just twitch your thumb and get it done. Let's see. Now, you don't have replaceable back straps or any of that stuff. You can change your grip and where your finger goes on the trigger with different grips. This gun came with the thin aluminum grips. You can get grips like these, which are thicker. They're walnut, really nice walnut, checkered grips. They look really good if you're into that style, and you can adjust the grip that way. And also the grips that fit the CZ-75. There's someone driving around again. The grips that fit the CZ-75 also fit the Tactical Sport, if you happen to have a CZ Tactical Sport. I personally bought these grips and put them on a Tactical Sport. I had to grind them to make the magwell work, but anyways, I gotta hurry it up before this gets too long. Other parts of the ergonomics of the gun that are great is it's undercut under the trigger guard, and it's undercut in the trigger guard. And then you've also got this bevel, really big bevel above the trigger guard, which gives you a good point. What the heck's the word? Anyways, gives you a good point to put your finger on, index point, so that when you're trying in competition, moving around, you have to keep your finger off. You can slide it right there, and you know you're there. And also you can fit a big fat sausage finger in there if that's what you have, or gloves. And the undercut here, along with the beaver tail, allows you to get your hand as far up on the pistol as possible and get a really awesome grip. Another part is it has ambidextrous safeties, not ambidextrous. I hate it when people say that. It's ambidextrous safeties, which is good for lefties or doing weak hand only shooting, whatever you might do. I'm getting eaten by mosquitoes. Anyways, this one has the thin aluminum grips. I find the thin aluminum grips are really good. I think they fit well. My hand reaches the trigger good. In single action, I can overreach the trigger a little bit, but I don't. I've trained enough that that just doesn't happen. But anyways, let's pop this thing open and talk about some internal features. And this is how you take down. You line up these notches, use your magazine, push the slide lock lever, and then use your tough fingers to get the slide lock out. Now, on a double single action gun, I've noticed when you push it forward, it kind of sticks here. If you put your finger on the hammer, slightly pull the trigger, it allows it to come off a little easier. You can force it off, but you don't have to. Part of the internal features are a full-length steel guide rod, a Browning style barrel. You can see the locking lugs on the barrel. It does not have a cam pin, it just has a cam slot, if that's what you call it. And the spring is not captured. Now, the captured springs are springs like on a Glock or an M&P, and they're a lot harder to change out. This, pop it off, flip a new spring in, you're good to go. That's honestly a good thing for the user. You can adjust for competition loads a lot easier. You don't have to mess around with it. Another kind of internal feature here is the competition hammer. It is double single action. You can see it moving there. I don't want to dry fire it on the frame, but really amazing competition hammer. There's also, it's double single. I just talked about that. All that means is you can have the hammer down on a loaded bullet and pull the trigger and fire. It does not allow you to put the safety on when the hammer's down. If you bring it to half cock, you can put the safety on, and also when it's on full cock, you can have the safety on. So it gives you a ton of options for carrying. You could carry in ultra safe mode where you've got it at half cocked, safety on, and you can pull it, take the safety off, and still have a double action pull. Or you can load it cocked and locked, safety on, and just pull it out, safety off, single action pull. Or no safety, double action pull. Just tons of options. More options than almost any other gun for that. It's also got no firing pin safeties, which are right in here, you see some guns have a little circle that goes up into the firing pin channel. Now what happens is the trigger bar, this little mechanism in here, rides back as you pull the trigger. I don't know if you can see that move, but these little notches come back and they slide onto the notch, pushing it up, which then allows the firing pin to move forward. So it doesn't have any, and it's because that improves trigger pull. You have one less mechanism in the trigger to make it rough, to make it hard, to try and tune, and it just helps the trigger a lot. Let's see, you've got a reversible mag release. All you do is take this little screw out in here, take the spring off, the safety will slide out, you slide it in the opposite way, reconnect the spring, and you're fine. Another great thing about the CZ in general is the slide fits inside the frame. The rails on the slide are external. That makes it easier for cleaning. You can put some grease on there easily. It's just really nice. The other great thing is the entire length of the slide is supported with a rail. So as it's moving, you can get it back to here and it's already really tight. That has almost no play at all. And what happens is the entire travel of the slide is completely supported by the rails. Now on a Glock or an M&P, you have maybe a total of like an inch of rod that actually guides the slide. Now to put it back together, you just line up your slots again, push that, and this takes a little bit of pressure to get past this little spring over here. And then you're good to go. This one comes with a drop-free mag brake. I know some CZs come with a mag brake, and all you have to do to change that is take your grips off. There's a little tiny pin in the top or bottom, I can't remember. You tap it out, it comes out very easy, and you get a new little piece of metal, put it in, put your grips back on, and your mags will drop free. Some people like it, and what it does is it makes your mag come to here and stop so that it won't fall out of the gun. It will just stay there and you have to pull it out. For competition though, you want it to drop free. Anyways, external features of the gun that are great. 1913 Picatinny style rail. It's standard military 1913 rail. I put my Streamlight TLR1S on it with the 1913 adapter that it comes with, and it worked great on here. It has target/competition sights, and I say competition/target because the notch compared to the front sight is quite wide. You don't have a lot of air. When you're looking down the sights, you can see a little gap of air on either side of the front sight, but not very big. Now that's good for really fine-tuned accuracy. It's not as good for speed shooting. Now what the caveat with that is, with this pistol, is it's still really good for speed shooting because they use a very small fiber optic, and if you don't pay attention to the black of the sight, you only pay attention to the red as you're aiming like this. If you just use the red, it's small enough that you can get it within that notch fast and make accurate shots. But then if you're doing a long range shot, you can make sure and line up everything, and you can do amazingly accurate shooting with this gun. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. I understand why they used that ratio between rear and front sight. The other great thing is the front sight's decently high, the rear sights are decently high. But the major thing is on this gun, and if you get a regular SP-01 Shadow, it might not be this way, but they've milled the back of the slide flat back here to put these competition sights on. Now, they move the rear blade of the sight, which is also serrated for glare, moves them back to all... Okay, my camera died again, and I'm really Not sure where I got in the video. It's pissing me off super bad. I did talk for quite a while. It recorded 19 minutes of stuff, so hopefully I made it to the accuracy portion, which is where I put the gun down. Now, this is CZ's factory test shooting of the gun. They don't give you the actual thing, they do a printout. This is a 1-to-1 scale target of what they shot at 25 meters, number of impacts 4, manufacturer of ammunition is Cellular and Bellet, and this is the accuracy that they got with the gun. I really hope you're seeing this in frame. But one hit here, one hit here, one hit here, one here. The average of the shots is just a little bit left, perfect elevation. Now this is at 25 meters. I believe they have it on arrest or clamped down, whatever. I'm not really positive, but I'm pretty sure they do. Now this is just the stock gun, the SP-01 Shadow. This is the accuracy that you can expect with your gun if you get the regular Shadow. Now, the one I have is a custom gun. It went through Angus, Hobdell's custom shop. They tune it. They do everything to it to make it amazing. Now look at the difference in the accuracy. This is the same distance target. They give you the actual target. Now, these are just rip holes. Look at that accuracy. Same distance, same gun, after it's been tuned. This is, I'm not sure how many shots. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like a 5-shot group. 25 meters. Might be yards, I'm not sure, because they do this in the United States. The point of aim was here, right on the line, right there. All the impacts, you had a couple slightly low, one slightly left, but that is within 1 inch of a group. 25 yards. All just a ragged hole. I mean, look at that. That's amazing. That is how good the custom shop does at tuning their guns. It doesn't just improve trigger pull, it improves accuracy. They do an amazing job. You're gonna pay extra for that, but it's freaking worth it. This gun is just insane. Let's go back to my notes. All I want to talk about now, and I wish my other camera had just made it through, is my overall impression of the gun, what I think about it, what I like about it, what I dislike about it. And so far, the only thing I dislike about it is double action, single action. I'm not used to it. I haven't practiced with it. I'm getting better. But that's not a fault of the gun, really. The double action is amazingly smooth all the way through, very consistent, and amazing double action pull. I just don't like double action. Single action is amazing. Does have quite a bit of take-up on single action, if you can see this. I really hope you can. Does have a little bit of take-up, but I've noticed that doesn't bother me all that much. It really hasn't bugged me. The reset is only to there. So, even though there's a lot of take-up, you really only have to move the trigger this much. So that hasn't bothered me a lot. What has bothered me is somewhere before I bought the gun, someone has made a chip in the shiny finish right there, and it's driving me nuts. But as far as cons go, that's it. I cannot think of a single other con with this pistol. It's an amazing gun. I've never had a gun this nice in my entire life, and I do not regret spending the shit ton of money I spent on it. It's just that good. It's amazing. The grip, the feel, the shootability, the recoil, the barrel is amazing. Easy to clean, easy to take apart. The accuracy is just nuts. Seriously nuts. There's nothing I dislike about this gun so far at all, other than the double action like I was talking about. It is my favorite pistol right now. I'm going to shoot a lot with it, and I think that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to wrap it up, maybe get... Smoke in my eyes.